Okay, so if you heard the SummerSlam 2018 review that I did on the channel last night, it's very long. It's like almost 3 hours long. I wanted to make a separate video about this and give my thoughts on this, and that is the supposed planned main event for the WWE Evolution pay-per-view coming up in October. This is the all-women show where it's going to be presumably matches with just women, even though there may be some mixed tag matches in there, and there will be men probably appearing on the show in some capacity. We do have the main event. It is going to be Ronda Rousey defending the WWE Raw Women's Championship against Nikki Bella. Now, this was discussed in the SummerSlam review show. Also, other people have discussed it as well. Other news outlets have broken the story, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to say that some people were commenting in the SummerSlam review about me talking about how Roman Reigns beat Lesnar with one spear when he actually hit him with four. Yes, he hit him with 3 spears at the beginning of the match, and then Lesnar recovered, right? And Lesnar started beating the crap out of Roman. Then it was one sissy-looking spear at the end that got him the win. That was my problem, is that he hit him with 1 spear at the end that got him the win. Brock had already recovered. He was already fine. And that's my issue that I had with it, is that it was very anticlimactic because of that. I thought it was very, very dumb. And I still feel that way. Not to mention that at WrestleMania, I'm pretty sure that Roman hit Brock with 5 or 6 spears, and it still wasn't enough. So it's like, if you're going to train your audience to tell them it's going to take a lot of finishers to beat one guy, and then it's one little pussy spear after Brock just beat up another guy, it's very flat and very anticlimactic. I don't know why people were commenting that as if I didn't see the first 3 spears. Of course I saw them, but that wasn't part of the finish. You can't factor that in, you know what I mean, as far as it being the finish goes. Now, as far as Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella go, look, Nikki Bella has worked really, really hard to get to where she's at, and Ronda Rousey has put in a lot of work this year. Now, the thing about Ronda Rousey is that her matches are, and this is not necessarily a bad thing, but people have to understand that Ronda Rousey's matches are all very, very choreographed. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, but all wrestling is choreographed. That's people who don't know how the business actually works. Every one of Ronda's matches are meticulously rehearsed, move for move for move. Typically, when it comes to regular wrestling matches, things aren't as rehearsed as meticulously. You have an idea of where you want to go, you go out there, you produce the match, and then sometimes you have to call an audible. When it comes to Ronda's matches, they're very, 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 very rehearsed. She practices these matches in Florida at the developmental center over and over and over again, which is why the WrestleMania match was so good and why her matches have been pretty decent. They're not bad matches. A lot of them are pretty simple, though. They're kind of squashes, but the Mania one was good because they practiced it for so much. Ronda hasn't really figured out the instincts to be a pro wrestler. Now, that takes time. We all know that. Same thing with any sport. Basketball, baseball, football. I don't care what you like. It takes time. So I don't blame her for this at all. I don't think she's, she's actually a really hard worker and she loves the business, so I respect her greatly. That being said, Nikki Bella has never really been that great of a wrestler. Now, she's improved like crazy, and I think she's good, but she's definitely not on the level of somebody like Trish Stratus, who, by the way, I mean, Trish is, retired pretty much, even though she's coming back for this show, and somebody like Natalia. These are women that are very well versed in the art of wrestling, and I feel like they would be able to give Ronda a better match. So this Nikki Bella match at the pay-per-view is probably going to be very much a super rehearsed match, and I hope it's a good match because Ronda's been squashing everyone, and I feel like bringing in Nikki Bella just to lose, I don't know if I want to see that necessarily, but I think it would make sense with the new season of Total Divas and Total Bellas coming out. They want to give her a lot of promotion, which again is kind of weird because if you're doing this women's revolution thing and you have a girl who's very pretty and, has her boobs poking out and she's kind of, doing her thing, it's somewhat kind of, is not really what I was thinking as far as really promoting athleticism in the brand. I feel like there's more deserving opponents. I feel like they could go with different opponents, but right now the plan is Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella at Evolution. That is the plan right now. As far as where they go from here, where Ronda goes, I don't know if they have plans as far as what her reign is going to be, but the discussion of having her against Charlotte at some point, probably at WrestleMania 35 in New York, is definitely one that I think is at least been heavily discussed. Well, I know for a fact it was heavily discussed because, you know, I was breaking a lot of wrestling stories here on this channel earlier this year, and one of the stories was that Ronda and Charlotte were supposed to wrestle at WrestleMania 35, and they had already talked about this in like February, you know, a year ahead of time. So I think it is going to happen like that, unless, you know, somebody gets hurt or whatever. So that being said, yeah. What do I think about it? I think Evolution, I'm going to watch it for sure. They have a lot of great women talent in the company. I'm actually more excited to see what they do with the NXT women's title because I really love that division a lot more. And I am excited to see the Becky Lynch-Charlotte feud. Ronda and Nikki Bella is probably my least... I'm looking forward to it the least of any of the big matches on that show, but I just wanted to give this to you guys and give me your thoughts. What do you think about Nikki Bella coming back, getting the title shot? Does she deserve it? I mean, is it... You know, what are they going to do with it? You know, are you excited for the match, or should they do a different match? Let me know, and I'll talk to y'all soon.